neck and neck, not only just in national polls, but crucial and critical battleground states. Hi, everyone. Welcome to One Nation. I'm Brian Kilmeade. Thanks for dating early, or thanks for dating late. Tonight on the show, big roster of guests, including Pete Hegseth, breaks down the moments of media that matter most this week. Tristan Harris, AI, to be feared or to be lauded, and the role it could be playing in this election. Robert Davi, a superstar, over 150 movies. Should celebrities, should singers be weighing in on this election? They seem to be. We'll talk to him about his perspective. But first, we begin with the race to the White House. With only 45 days to go, the polls continue to show both Harris and Trump neck and neck, not only just in national polls, but crucial and critical battleground states. But Harris's campaign continues to surprise me with the way they are approaching this election. Instead of trying to build up their own candidates, talking about her strengths, talking about her policies, they continue to delegitimize Trump, or try to. Instead of talking about their candidate, I don't know, fixing the country's economy, fixing a broken border, which, by the way, they broke, they continue to ridicule the past accomplishments of the former president and minimize them. And one thing that is almost impossible to challenge, I thought, is Trump's ability to attract the crowd. Yet, mysteriously, the VP, Harris, spent time at the debate where she could actually lay out policy. She could have told us what she stood for, how she's different than Joe Biden. But instead, she made this calculated, but I think bizarre statement.
People start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom.
That statement obviously got under the president's skin, and everyone's talking about it. But I thought I'd want to get some facts. So before catching up with the president on Long Island, his major rally at Nassau Coliseum, I thought I'd see for myself the size of the crowd, their passion for the former president, and if they indeed going to leave early, and if they would indeed be bored. Let's see. So the music's blasting, the people are jumping around, having a good time. I'm at a Donald Trump rally, but I was watching the debate, and it turns out, according to the vice president, these people are bored, and they're going to leave early. Is that the real story? I think I'll find out.
We're not going anywhere until Trump is here and Trump is out of the building.
We're not leaving early. We're having a blast.
What do you think about people that say people go to the rallies, and they're all bored, and they leave early?
No, lies. Hell no, you kidding me? I'm going to be here until midnight.
How long did you wait to get in?
Got here about 1 o'clock, waited online, took a couple hours, but we got in.
It is 7 o'clock now.
Yeah, so 6 hours.
We were here at 10:30 this morning.
10, and what about you? All of you.
I waited 11 hours to come to this rally.
What matters to you right now?
Economy, buying food, putting food on the table.
What's different in the last 3 years?
Well, mayonnaise used to cost me $2.99 a jar, now it's $7.49.
Two of my children are in law enforcement, and we really need to do something about the crime.
But I hear crime's going down.
No, son. My children are in the city, and it's not going down.
We all want a better country, right? So it's important to support the candidate. It's going to see our values. It's going to respect Americans, listen to Americans, and want to keep us safe.
That wasn't scripted. That was impromptu, and that's how they feel. Maybe David Muir of ABC should have fact-checked that one, too. No. For the actual event itself, the president held this week, well, it was an extremely blue New York. A lot of people said, why are you going to New York? He thinks he can win it. And if you saw that crowd, you wouldn't doubt it. You could tell Trump felt right at home. After all, he grew up one borough away. And not only did he make time for the thousands of supporters who go to bat for him every day, he made time for One Nation. And here's our interview. Mr. President, we're now in the backstretch under 50 days. Is there a closing plan to close out the battleground states that's different from the previous 300?
Well, there is a plan about closing. It's called closing the border, and we're going to do that immediately. And we're going to drill, baby, drill, and we're going to bring down inflation. We're going to cut prices. You have to cut prices, not just bring them to a level. You have to cut prices. But we're going to end up with the strongest economy anywhere in the world, and we're going to do it very quickly. We have more liquid gold under our feet than anybody. We're going to use it, and we're going to pay down debt. We're going to reduce taxes still further, and we're going to have a country back again. But most importantly, and immediately, we're going to close our border because we have millions and millions of people pouring in from jails and prisons and mental institutions and terrorists, and we're not going to stand for it anymore.
18,000 people out there, about another 18,000 on the outside in Nassau County, Long Island, and you probably made a lot of them happy by saying, hey, I know I had tax reform, I got rid of the SALT, but now you want to add that. Allow them to take their state and local taxes off their tax return.
We're really looking to do that, and we want to do it for New York. We also want to win New York. We think we can because of what's happened with the migrant crisis. Everybody's coming into New York, people that, frankly, that just got out of prisons from the Congo and from the Middle East and from lots of other places. And the people of New York, look, I left here. This was a great place. Now it's a place that's overrun by people that shouldn't be in our country, by very dangerous people, street gangs. You see what's happening in other states. It's not only in New York, but you look at what's going on with the Venezuelan taking over the real estate in Colorado with guns like even our military doesn't have, guns and rifles. So, no, we got to turn it around. We're going to turn it around fast. We have to deport all of these criminals that have been brought in, and we will.
The Teamsters Union is refusing to endorse either one of the candidates tonight. Normally, that's a given for the Democratic nominee.
The Teamsters Union, for the first time since 1996, just declined to support a Democrat for the White House.
You know, the Democrats have always taken for granted that they're going to get our vote no matter what, and the Republicans are fancying themselves as the working people's party.
First time since 1988, the Teamsters have not endorsed a Democratic candidate. They didn't endorse anyone, but they released a poll. The poll shows their membership is going to vote for you by about 20 points.
Yeah, they're going to be.
What does that mean?
We're up to almost 60% of the vote. Well, it's a great honor. The Teamsters have been with me for a long time. We did a lot of buildings in New York. I did concrete buildings. They were the truck drivers for the concrete.
You had no problems with the unions ever?
I got along with the unions, and I got along with non-unions too. I got along with everybody. I was very good at building things. And you go to different parts of the country. You go down south, and you don't have unions. And in New York, you have very strong unions. But I always got along with them. I got along with the Teamsters. Look, this is the first time in many decades that they haven't endorsed a Democrat. But they went out and they actually took a poll of the members, and I was at 60%. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that. Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. And just to finish off, she doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan. It's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that are just, oh, we'll try and lower taxes. She has no policy. Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. Well, there she goes again. It's a lie. I'm not signing a ban, and there's no reason to sign a ban. Excuse me, I have to respond. Another lie. It's another lie. I have been a leader on IVF, which is fertilization. Will she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month?
Come on.
Okay, would you do that? Why don't you ask her that question?
Why don't you answer the question?
After seeing Kamala Harris vice president for the first time and debating her for the first time, and then seeing some of her follow-up interviews, what kind of opponent is she? Well,
I thought that she had a debate which was interesting because she wasn't answering any questions, and I thought it was a great debate for me. I thought it was one of my best debates that I've ever had, and some people disagreed, but I felt it was the strongest debate I ever had. I thought I was treated very unfairly by ABC. It was 3-on-1, but that was okay too. I thought we did really well. We exposed it. She told a lot of things that weren't true, and I told things that were true. Like as an example, when I said we have massive crime, I was interrupted by David Muir saying that crime has actually gone down. Well, no. The Justice Department, I don't know why they did this, but somebody maybe likes me over there. They just released, as you saw, numbers saying that crime is up 44% and beyond that in some categories. So I was right. And ABC hasn't apologized yet. No, I thought the debate was very good. My poll numbers are great. We just had a Rasmussen poll that I'm up 6. And I think we're doing very well. Don't forget, it's a very unfair process. They did a coup with Biden. The Biden thing was over. We had the debate. It was a good debate. And he was down either 19 or 21 points, depending on which poll you look. And I figured that was going to be a win. And they told him that was going to be a win and we want you out. And they actually did a coup and they put her in. And I actually believe when the people find out what she stands for, all of the things that she stands for, I think that we will do as well or better than we would have done against Biden.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there had been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is the
people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
Mark Penn, a Democratic pollster, is calling for an investigation of ABC and the moderators. He wants their communications polled to see if they were talking to each other because of the fact check on you and none on them and the questions and topics. Do you join in those questions?
Sure, I do. I think they should be investigated. And, they have to get a license from the federal government. They asked me 9 or 11 different times about things that I was right on. In virtually every case, I was absolutely right, like the crime, like Charlottesville, like a lot of other things. They asked me about things that I was right on. And they didn't ask her anything about things that she was wrong on. And they knew that Bloodbath, as an example, they all knew that she was wrong on these things.
You were talking finances.
And so what is so sad is that they're allowed to do that. So they interrupted me, but they didn't interrupt her, and she was the one that was wrong.
The Federal Reserve cutting interest rates by a 0.5 percentage point on Wednesday. The decision means the cost to borrow money for things like credit cards, car loans, and some mortgages will likely drop right now.
A 50% cut, a 0.5% cut, a massive cut of the Fed right before the election. It's the first one, it's the biggest one in a long time. Do you think politics plays a role in it, or is it because inflation's tamed?
Well, I think it's 2 things. I think our economy is terrible, so you could make the case for them, or it's politics, or maybe it's a combination of both. But the economy is bad. Inflation is killing people. We're going to get the inflation way down. I'm going to reduce energy bills for people by 50% within the first 12 months. That's the kind of stuff we have. We have more liquid gold under our feet than any country in the world, Saudi Arabia, Russia. I'm going to reduce energy costs for people. That means air conditioning, heating, cars, everything, by 50%. And we'll do that within 12 months, and I'll be able to do it easily.
I understand I missed this. I was here, but you did make history today with Bitcoin, the first cryptocurrency purchase.
The first transaction by a president on the Bitcoin protocol.
I don't even get it. Do you understand what you bought? Hamburgers?
Well, I did. I bought a hamburger with Bitcoin. They said it was the first purchase ever made, I guess, of a hamburger or something. And no, look, I'm a believer in staying at the top. This is a hot thing. And rather than
service, but you worry about your family too?
I'm sick and tired of having to have that conversation with my 5 young children about a deranged leftist clearly motivated by the sound bites of the radical left and the mainstream media shooting at their grandfather.
I do. I don't talk about it, but I do. I have to worry about family. I have to worry about everybody. I worry about you. I worry about everybody because, look, we're under siege, and no country has ever suffered like we have for the last 3.5, almost 4 years, when they allow millions of people to come into our country from prisons, right? From prisons, and terrorists, and people from mental institutions, and they take over our parks. Look at New York. You can't play Little League Baseball anymore. That doesn't sound serious, but it is serious. When they take away your whole lifestyle, when they live in hotels better than our incredible veterans who are lying on the street opposite the main entrance to a hotel, and in that hotel you have illegal aliens that have come in, and by the way, destroying the hotel, fighting at levels that the police don't even want to go into the hotels. When you have that happening in this city and this country, I want to protect everybody.
Lastly, JD's got a debate coming up. CBS, Margaret Brennan, Norah O'Donnell. Do you think he'll get a fair shot? What advice do you give him?
He won't get a fair shot, but he will handle it very good, very smart. I think he's done great. People are really liking him. He's tough, smart. He loves our country. He's going to have no trouble.
Very nice of the former president and his team to give us that time. Think about his day. He did Gutfeld. He did a special cryptocurrency stop. He took 200 individual pictures with celebrities and donors behind the scenes, and then just addressed 18,000 people, as well as 5,000 on the outside of the Coliseum. That was just all in one day. Meanwhile, coming up on this show, celebrities are coming out in droves for the vice president. But do their endorsements even matter? We're going to ask a superstar actor of our own, Robert Davi, next. But first, it's the media moments that matter. Pete Hegseth is here to break it all down. Next. Don't move, but I will.
Right? Can you raise your hand if you love a yellow school bus, right? Just, there's something about and most of us, many of us went to school on a yellow school bus.
Wow. Kamala really loves her yellow school buses, but no one loves the push for electric school buses more than China, who's raking in the cash, according to a new House of Representatives report. Now, the Biden-Harris $5 billion clean school bus program might be laudable, but let's think about this. They use 4 times more taxpayer dollars for every single bus. And who's standing to collect? The Chinese Communist Party. House Republicans allege and have concluded that China's stranglehold on the EV market is making them billions in our EV push, raising countless economic and national security concerns. Just think about it. And the administration isn't taking their time about it either. If they get their way, every school bus on the road will be replaced by an electric one in 5 years. It seems like the only ones who love school buses more than the vice president are the Chinese EV companies that are set to eat our school lunch, if you know what I'm saying. Now it's time for one of my favorite moments of the week, the moments in media that matter. And here is Pete Hegseth. Now, Pete, thanks so much for doing this. Yeah. So I gave you a VCR. I got your cable television prescription. I got your TV guide. And I said, pick out the moments in media that stand out. Were you able to get all
I didn't know I was going to have to do that all in the basement of Fox.
Yes. All right. That's the deal.
A little bit of bread and water and a VHS tape.
And did you come up with anything?
Incredible week in media. Okay, so we all know what happened with the debate. David Beer, you were watching. We were all watching. But we haven't heard yet, how does he feel about his performance? You know, when he went home, did he do well? Did he not do well? Well, here he, of course, goes to Late Night, Brian. Here he is on Late Night talking about the criticism he got.
Actually, I think this is from Kelly and Mark.
Oh, man.
I believe it was our duty to ask the issues that Americans care about. And I always say as a moderator, you know, what the candidates decide to do with that time, you can ask the questions, but they'll answer with whatever they choose to answer with.
That's right.
And you have to be ready for whatever might come your way, even the most unexpected of moments. As you all know, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I will say this, all of the noise that you hear afterward about, you know, which candidate won the debate, the moderators win or lose, that's just noise. You all know that. The most important thing to remember is that you all have the power. Everybody at home has the power.
It wasn't Late Night, but it was easy. You said it's just noise.
I was stunned by this, and I know you were too. Lack of humility. The reason why he got blowback is because of the fact checks on one person, not the other. What was revealed in the LA Times is that the other moderator from ABC said our goal was to watch every single one of Trump's events and interviews and debates and come up with ways in which he wasn't right. Did she know there was somebody else on that stage?
No, apparently not. By the way, you know who was paying attention, though? The American people. Because his
You mean the
ratings,
voters?
The voters themselves. They watched, they saw it, and his ratings are down 10% ever since the debate.
7.6 to 6.7. Look, the ratings are fine. They're still leading, but it shows the American people were a little sickened by the role they played. You saw Mark Penn wants to do an investigation of the moderators.
Absolutely.
Now, what else did you come up with?
So I also had a little radio time.
You did.
You make it. You all mediums of media.
I got you a Sirius subscription.
Sirius subscription. So little Howard Stern was there. He made a comment. He said, you know, he hates Trump. But what does he think about Trump supporters? Here's Howard Stern. Watch this.
I don't agree with Trump politically. I don't think he should be anywhere near the White House. I don't hate the guy. I hate the people who vote for him. I think you're stupid. I don't think I do. I'll be honest with you. I have no respect for you.
Hates the people that vote for him.
You thought deplorables was a big deal, and it was. This is 10 times as bad. Look, he's not running for office. He's got more money than you can ever imagine. Maybe he doesn't care. He doesn't even get ratings on Sirius. But to hate 70 million, maybe more, people in America because they vote a certain way, what happened to Mr. Counterculture?
It's true. It's a sad existence at this point.
Are you insulted? Because some people said you voted for Trump.
I did.
Okay.
I don't think people care really what Howard Stern says anymore. I think he's made himself almost completely irrelevant.
Right. We had 2 assassinations to go over, no joking. We don't know anything about the first assailant and very little about the second. But you were shocked about this headline in the New York Times.
That's right. So we got all the newspapers, too. And this headline, I took my scissors and I cut it out and I handed it to the producers and said, we got to cover this one. Look at this. Suspect in apparent Trump assassination plot crusaded for many causes. And it goes on to talk about, I think we have the full scene clear. Here it is from the New York Times. Mr. Ruth has been a serial crusader for causes large and small, dating back to at least 1996 when he campaignaed against graffiti in Greensboro, North Carolina, humanizing him, where he lived for decades. In the 90s, he appeared in the pages of a local newspaper as a family man, decorating his 1840s log cabin home for Halloween, and as a good Samaritan who won a law enforcement Oscar for chasing a suspected rapist in his neighborhood. Are they doing everything they can to make him just look like the everyman?
So you put him, he almost was in the category of Lee Harvey Oswald.
Correct.
And John Wilkes Booth. Do you think they're writing glowing stories about Oswald or John Wilkes Booth, even though he was a famous actor? This to me is sickening. It's insane.
It's insane, but it's entirely predictable. You think, Brian? At this point, like the New York, you don't want to go to the next step of what would they have wanted the shooter to be effective, or you pray they would never go to that next level. But the way in which they dissect and dismiss and then turn away from these assassination attempts is staggering.
Amazing. Kept a horse in his house, had no money, but yet was traveling to Hawaii and Ukraine on somebody else's bill.
Yeah.
Lastly,
the world of sports. We covered it all.
I've heard of sports.
Sports. Deion Sanders is calling out. There's this new name, image, and likeness.
College kids can make money now.
A lot of money, and he's calling out the reporters on why they might be a little jealous. Watch this.
Well, once upon a time, you guys never attacked college players. Now they're making more money than y'all. And some of y'all are envious and jealous about that. So you're on the attack. It was hands off a college player because he's an amateur. Remember that, guys? Now it's hands on. Go at him any kind of way you want. They're making more money than me, and I'm mad about it.
He's mad about it. I think he's right. But it's okay, right? If you're making money.
Reporters are jealous of the athletes?
Probably. I think if you talk to Will Kane, who's in the sports world too, you've been in the sports world a lot too. A lot of them are wannabe athletes who never could make it to that level. Is that fair?
I don't know. I'm against we're on different sides on this. I think he's way out of bounds. I think these athletes got to be critical. If you drop a pass and you're 19 years old, you got to say, you're dropping a pass at 19 years old.
But you're basically a professional at this point.
Absolutely. You make $4 million. Look, if you're a tennis player, you bar back the best in the world at 16.
You make the money, you get the headlines, right. Good or bad.
And Pete Hegseth, if we want big ratings, we book Pete Hegseth.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Watch Fox and Friends on Sunday. Yeah. It's only in a few hours. Yep. Change your outfit. Promise? All right, 6 to 10. Meanwhile, next on this show, what role should technology play in politics? And is AI...
Ela vai ficar correndo atrás, né? Deixa eu ver, Rafa. Agora é do Rafa. Cadê? Ó, a avó trouxe logo duas, hein? O que é isso aí? O que é, Rafa? Ó. Eu tinha que ir pra faculdade. Deixa eu ver. Eu tinha que ir pra faculdade, quer ver? Eu entendi. Caramba. Olha. Uma calça. Olha a camisa aqui. Olha. Que linda, Rafa. Vai ficar gatão, hein? Pra você, essa data querida. Ei!
E o primeiro pedaço vai ser pro meu pai.
Ei! Ah, é assim, né? Puxa saco, puxa saco, puxa saco, puxa saco, puxa saco. Gostoso o bolo, Raquel? Tá? A boquinha toda azul. Tá gostoso? Delícia, ó. Esse aí já é o segundo, já é o segundo pedaço, né, Maria? Agora depois eu vou pular pra perder as calorias. Ei, meninas, tá bom o bolo?
Tá, muito bom.
A boca toda azul também da Sara. Por que a Nathalie não tá com a boca azul, Nathalie?
Porque eu como devagar.
A gente comeu o bolo em casa, né, foi aniversário do Rafa, ainda tava cedo, aí a gente falou, vamos no cinema, aí todo mundo decidiu vir. Eu, minha mãe, meu irmão, minha cunhada, eles estão ali, foram comprar sorvete, e agora a gente tá esperando dar o horário do cinema. Vai ser ali, ó, 9h30, a nossa sessão, a gente vai assistir o Mega Tubarão. Então hoje tá bem vazio pro cinema, mesmo sendo sábado, ó, tem pouca gente. Mas a praça de alimentação tá cheia, tá lotada. Cadê o Rafa? No escurinho do cinema. Essa mãe vai assustar hoje com o tubarão. Meu Deus. E aí, Rafa, você vai ficar com medo, Rafa?
Não.
Não tá nem dando pra ver o Rafa aqui. Ainda bem que não esqueceu tudo ainda.
Vai não.
O tubarão fica dentro do olho, Rafa. Vai não?
Fala misericórdia, Senhor.
Gente, hoje já é domingo, onde a gente comeu bastante, né, mãe? A gente foi no cinema, passeou, a mãe já aproveitou bastante aqui os netos. E agora a gente vai